Episode 7. Same Ability. The test continued with Layla being the next one to step forward. She was the only one among them who had a weapon on her back. Her weapon didn't look like a regular bow. It was different from the ones that people had used a long time ago. This bow was carved using the bones of some beast. It was polished to a shiny bronze, which glittered in the light. Quinn had heard about these beast weapons, but this was the first time seeing one. In fact, he would not have recognized it as such if it were not for the whispers from Vorden beside him. When the human race had been attacked by the Dalki, the human technology had advanced fast by replicating their invaders' technology, and with this, the humans had gained the ability to travel to other planets using portals. These planets would often contain different levels of beasts. The stronger the beast was, the better weapon you could make out of it, provided you could kill it first, of course. It was strange to see someone as young as her, who had most likely never been to another planet, possess a beast weapon. Layla stood in the center of the field and waited for the test to start. Unlike when it was Quinn's turn, Jane waited until the girl was ready before starting. It was quite a difference in treatment. When the test started, 5 targets appeared in different areas of the wasteland. Layla immediately took out 5 arrows and placed them in her bow, shooting them all off at once in the same direction. The arrows shot out fast and strong, but then suddenly the 5 arrows split off, each in their own direction, each of them heading to a different target. "What a good combo!" Vorden praised. Although telekinesis is considered quite weak, when paired with her bow to control the arrow's movements, it's very useful. Simultaneously, all 5 of the targets were hit, and she completed the first test. This one demonstration showed Quinn how useful beast weapons could be. Even if one had a weak ability, they could make it strong. Quinn wasn't completely sure what his ability was yet, but even if it just increased his stats as he leveled up, he imagined that pairing it with a weapon like a beast sword might also turn him powerful. On the strength test, Layla didn't do too well. She used her powers to try to move her fist even faster when punching the drum, but in the end, her score was only an 8. In the last test, Quinn also saw her do quite badly. When the test began, Layla had attempted to use her ability on the spikes coming at her. Unfortunately, she had been unaware that they were holograms and not the real thing, so it had no effect. This led to her nearly being hit at the start. After that, Layla relied on her actual body to avoid the spikes, yet she ended up getting the same score as Quinn. "It looks like you have the power level of a level 2 ability user," Jane informed her. As soon as the instructor had typed it in, the number 2 appeared on Layla's wrist. Quinn could tell Layla wasn't happy. She was red in the face as she stomped back towards the group. Quinn thought the test wasn't really fair. Her ability level might be that of a level 2, but when used with a bow, Quinn felt she could probably beat some level 3 or perhaps even level 4 ability users. Still, even if he voiced his opinion, who would listen to a measly level 1 like him? Quinn was starting to take note that the Academy really did only measure the power level of your ability and not your fighting ability. The next person to take the test was Erin. She walked forward confidently without even looking at anyone else. She stood in the center of the testing field, waiting for the test to start. 5 random targets appeared across the wasteland. She quickly formed an ice spear and chucked it at the first targets, hitting it dead on. She repeated this 4 more times at an incredible speed, nearly clearing them all just as fast as Layla did. For the next test, Erin's performance was even more impressive. She started to gather ice in both her palms, and then after a minute or so of gathering her power, a huge ice column shot out from her hands and hit the center of the drum dead on. The drum rang out louder than it had before, and the number kept going up until it had eventually reached 50. "No wonder she's so confident," Vorden noted, a thoughtful expression on his face. Quinn realized it was a good thing the 2 of them didn't fight, otherwise Vorden would have ended up a dead man. Finally, when it was time for the last test, the instructor told her she wasn't allowed to use her ability and should just dodge. Erin didn't object, and the test started immediately. She managed to do well, moving swiftly, avoiding each spike, but eventually the machine had gotten too fast, and she ended up getting hit. "Impressive. Best result so far. So far you're the 3rd first-year student with a power level of 5. Erin started walking back to her group, her face expressionless and unimpressed, as if she knew what she was going to get all along. Either that or she didn't really care about the whole thing. Finally, the last person to take the test in the group was Vorden. "Time I show you what I got. Wish me luck." Quinn had no clue who Vorden was talking to, but quickly realized it was him after Vorden winked in his direction as he walked off to the center of the field. Could that idiot actually be strong? Quinn wondered. Most of the time, people who were strong were either arrogant, openly flaunting their powers, or kept quiet about them, but Vorden was a strange person. He wasn't exactly arrogant, more like flashy. When the test started, everyone's mouth was left wide open at what they were seeing. On every single one of the tests, Vorden copied the exact same moves as Aaron. He used the very same ice ability, performed just as well as Aaron. "See, I told you I was strong." Vorden gleefully pointed at the number 5 to his seemingly new best friend, Quinn.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.